Hi everyone, and welcome to Chapter 4 of Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. This is titled The Two Meet. So it starts off here with Loki and Luca, and the dialogue is sort of just forced. I know I mentioned this in an earlier video about the cursing in this game. It does seem to be a little excessive in my opinion, and maybe it's just personal tilt, but I don't really think that Luca is the type of character that would talk like that all the time. So it kind of bugs me a little bit, but isn't that much of a detriment to the game. So anyway, that's a bit of foreshadowing there with the masked character that you don't know much about yet. And this level's pretty cool. You're on the rooftops here at night, and so it looks good with the light reflecting off the tiles and the water with the city in the background. So looks good in my opinion, and this is just showing where some of the, I guess, hidden chests are, and there's a couple hidden battles along the way. Although I do miss two of them, and I thought I had been pretty thorough in exploring these areas, but apparently not. So here's the next new angel, Fidelity. This guy's really cool. I like that his stabbing attacks are these nice bright red. It looks really cool. And not too hard of an enemy. And because his attacks are so vibrant, they're very easy to evade. Although I didn't do it completely here. I got hit right out the gate because, as is typical in Bayonetta, you'll get a little cinematic and then bam, right out of the cinematic you'll get attacked. So you just have to be ready. And here's half of a gold LP that will work towards the next weapon in the game. So moving along here, this is pretty cool. Knock down this tower. Creates a bit of a bridge, and there's a chest at the bottom here that you can open for another item, which is probably a lollipop of some sort. Yep, purple magic one. So moving along, the moon comes out. Yeah, I think something that this game does really well are the scripted events, and something that I noticed even with the first game, but I think it's more pronounced in this one, is that the game does a really good job of going between these really quiet exploratory moments, or even if you're having a conversation with one of the characters where it's very quiet, and then bam, something big will happen. Like here, a giant angel comes out of nowhere, blowing up everything around you, and you're bam right into a fight. So I like that. I like that there's such a huge contrast between the quiet moments and the super loud combat based ones. And so you fought this guy before in the sunny outdoor area in an earlier chapter. So once you take him out, and you do get to do a climax finisher on him, we'll move on to the next section of the game where, if I'm not mistaken, you do face off with that masked character. There we go. And this climax happens to be 60 frames per second. Sometimes they're 30. I don't know what the differences are. I do think that the graphics are a little nicer in the 30 frames per second versions that happen near the end of chapters, just for more detail, and the character models look a lot nicer. And so yeah, here is where Loki meets the masked character. They kind of reveal in a little while that he is some type of Lumen Sage. And here's an example of one of the hidden battles. This one's pretty quick. I think there's only two of those tentacled creatures from the beginning. They kind of look like those robots in the 3D Mark benchmarking software. And that particular demo just brings my PC to its knees. You can just hear the fans going crazy. But that one wasn't too bad. And then over here, as you're climbing the inside of this tower, make sure you head over to the right and you'll get the second half of the LP for the next weapon. And so this stage, I think it's mostly exploratory with with some combat thrown in here and there and mid bosses. So this is a more, I say, traditional Bayonetta level. And the thing I'm also liking a lot so far is that as far as I can remember, there haven't been any stupid puzzles. It's exploration, and it more often than not, it will reward you going off the beaten path, finding chests or the hidden verses. So I like all of that, and I'm glad that they got rid of so many of the boring hallways and the puzzles, which I thought were just extremely lame in the first Bayonetta, and I'm glad to see that Platinum removed them. So here I'm just kind of messing around with some of the other weapons. I tend to just use my pistols or the swords, but I tried giving that arrow weapon a chance as well as the new one, which I believe is fire-based like a flamethrower. So here you're facing off with him, and this nice cinematic here that shows them, Bayonetta and him fighting. These are all really nice. A little over the top, but still really cool, and he's obviously someone who's going to be making many returns throughout this game, if the first Bayonetta was any indicator. I love these intros. I like the typeface and everything. Just looks really good with the choir in the background. Very dramatic. And so I guess he is the most similar to Jean from the first game, just in terms of his speed and the types of attacks he does. Really good. And this one goes through several different stages, and at first, you're like, okay, well, maybe I'm just fighting him here, and then he'll leave, go through this. But no, he summons, I believe, that might be Temperance. I can't remember the name of that angel from the first Bayonetta. And then you summon yours. And this is just awesome. The angel and demon in the background fighting it out at this giant fire pit while you're trying to deal with the Lumen Sage in the foreground. I think I only got bronze on this just because I was so distracted by what was going on. It looks so good. All these particles everywhere, great effects. But I did tend to lose the Lumen Sage against the background since he's wearing white. Just very difficult to see, so I got pretty destroyed by him. And now here, another cinematic leads to a battle in the sky, and you bring out your next demon. This is like Pacific Rim now. And I believe that is Fortitudo. So they're fighting in the background, you're flying in the sky, you're still dealing with the Lumen Sage. And if I'm not mistaken, you do have to dodge some punches and other attacks that come in from Fortitudo. And then this right here is just hilarious. You're just kind of duking it out, punching him in the face. I was just laughing at this, and I had no idea what I was doing, but it has a really nice visceral feel to it, so it's pretty rewarding when you're doing it. And this chapter ends kind of on a cliffhanger. So the angel and demon punch, and then you and the Lumen Sage connect there, fades to white, and that's it. And so, yeah, that was a really fun chapter with lots of things to do. Again, the variety in this game is so much better than the first game, and I'm just having a blast. That was a great chapter with lovely visuals, and I did manage to get a couple pure platinums in there, but those are some pretty easy hidden verses. Hopefully next time I'll do better and find the other ones. Anyway, thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you in the next video.